Hey, what's up, guys? This is Netta with Inner Peace with Netta. Welcome to this channel. And on today's video, it is a confessions of a perfectionist. So, on this journey, which we've been on since we came out the birth canal, right? It's been our spiritual journey. So, I've realized that, I was a perfectionist. I didn't realize it, for a while. I wasn't aware of it, should I say. And as me learning different things about spirituality and going through my spiritual awakening, some of those habits that I had was starting to come into play. And spirit, my guides was like, no, you can't take those habits within your spirituality because that's not what spirituality is about. It's not about perfectionism. It's not about superiority or inferiority. It's about you being your true self, having a self-realization, self-actualization. And the only thing you need to focus on in whoever's life and business, where I always say mind your own business, which is your life, is you. Yes, we are here to serve and to help other people, right? But we have to mind our own business when it comes to, our spirituality and the path that we are on and the things that we're doing. If it's not harming anyone, if it's something that takes you back to the divinity that's within you, right? Then that is your path. We can't judge that. But I used to be this perfectionist. Not saying that I used to judge people on their spiritual path. I used to just be hella judgmental anyway because I used to judge myself. But that was just a habit that I was very, I was criticized a lot. I used to hear a lot of criticism and it just turned into self-talk. And as an adult, like, you're responsible for that. So how you talk to yourself in your head. And that was, something that just was passed on. So I had to learn to break that habit, But I was a perfectionist because I just seen it growing up. It was just this thing to where everyone needed to be validated. And it was just like, she was so bad. Because it didn't serve nobody. I felt like it just brought on more pain. And you aren't able to be yourself, and you feeling like you having to be perfect or you have to be something other than yourself is straight up bullcrap. And if you can't be someone else, or if you can't be yourself and you got to be someone else for someone to accept you, then that's just a road to sabotage and great pain and just hurt. It's just like, that's not what your soul, that's not what your spirit wants for you, And we're not here to be validated from anyone else. You got to go within for your inner validation. You have to validate yourself and make sure it's from inside out and not outside in. So I used to be a real perfectionist because first I wasn't even embracing my shadow side, which I didn't even know nothing about that for a long time. And I just felt like I had to be a certain person. Like, I had a lot of responsibility at a young age, and I just felt like, I was paying bills when I was in high school, and just had a lot of responsibility after, I basically was on my own. And I just built up this defense mechanism of, I would like to say, you can't tell me because it was just things that I went through and lessons that I went through that made me hard, that just blocked me, from wanting to listen to certain people. Not saying that I didn't listen to, constructive criticism, or I didn't listen, not all the time. It was, hard-headed, but just being on my own and trying to explore myself and trying to find my way, and just having all these different people trying to tell me what to do and how to live my life, it drowned out my own voice, and to where I was just wearing all these masks and just trying to be everything everybody wanted me to be, to where it hurt so bad. It hurt me so bad, to where I just broke down. I broke down, and I was just like, the hell with everyone. And I'm so glad that I'm on this spiritual journey, because it teaches you growth and it teaches you about yourself. With a perfectionist, they want everything to be to the T. There's no room for error, or there shouldn't be any flaws. And that's crazy, because perfection is boring. You have to give yourself room for error, because that's how you grow. If you never give yourself room to grow, then you will never grow. And that's what this life is about. We're constantly learning, or we should be constantly learning. Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. This earth school, you're supposed to be learning, right? It's your choice whether you want to learn or not. I'm just telling you what I know, what I've been through, and the things that the changes, and just different things I've been through in my life, to where it's like, okay, this is what I know I'm going to share with you. I always tell y'all, it's up to you, your choice. If this resonates with you, and you could take some nuggets out of it and some tools. We always can learn something, right? So you got to give yourself room to grow, right? Got to give your room for some error. Perfection is boring, okay? Being perfect is boring. Because a lot of times in that growth and that error, you'll find something beautiful in it. Lately, have I been feeling like that? No. But there is. I don't know. I've been through a lot. Perfectionism, to me, I felt like that helped push me more towards depression and anxiety, because I felt like I had to have everything look perfect. That's basically what it was, because it wasn't even perfect. It was like a shit show under ice cream. You understand? So, and not everything, and it wasn't always like that. But it made me rigid. I wasn't having fun in my life. I was procrastinating on a lot, because I felt like it had to look a certain way, or I had to have a certain degree, or it was negative self-talk holding me back. Just old narratives running in my mind, playing in my mind. And that was in my mind. I wasn't even in my body. And on this spiritual journey, it's not about perfectionism. It's not about being a certain religion or doing certain spiritual practice that makes you this so spiritual being. No, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Point blank period. Okay? You don't have to look a certain way to be spiritual, or to be a freaking human being, or to have a certain job. No, the only thing I do, or job or career, or be with a certain person, the only thing I do is just be yourself. When you are yourself, you will be living your best life. The reason why a lot of us, or a lot of people, aren't living their best life is because you are not yourself. If you try to be something else or somebody else, you will live in your own hell, in your mind. And this is where the depression and anxiety, because you're ruminating in your thoughts about something in the past and maybe something that you failed at. And then you're worried about that coming to the future. And that's where the anxiety comes from, instead of us being present. And when you're trying to be a perfectionist, you're not present because you're thinking about what everyone else is thinking about you and what they're going to say. I used to hear that all the time when I was growing up. Well, what does this person think? Or what you think? I don't want nobody talking about me, or they going to be talking about you. And it was just like, no, not really. You only think that because maybe you would talk about me, or you would talk about yourself, or you would talk about somebody else. We got to remember that when you're having these thoughts, right? So say if I said to my child, my child came dressed a certain way, and I'd be like, why you got that on? Where you going like that? What do you think people going to say about us? Or what do you think people going to say about me? Or what do you think people going to say about you? That would be my insecurity, not my child's. You understand? So now I'm implanting this stuff because of my own insecurities and my negative self-talk. And maybe I would talk about someone else who was dressed like that, which for whatever reason triggered me, and I would be judging it. And that could be a form. I'm just giving a light example of what, perfectionism is like. So, it's definitely, you're just judging yourself and you're scared of other people's judgment. And it's a need for validation outside yourself. Okay? And it's sickening. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's very painful, and it's sickening. It is. It sickens your soul. It dampens your spirit because you don't have to be perfect. I know we all want to be mature and grow and be living our best life, but we have to make room for us to grow, make error, make mistakes. But also, somebody told me this as well. It's okay to be immature sometimes. It's okay, and that's a part of, error or whatever. And I just say it depends on, the situation, because as you're growing, you need that emotional intelligence, because I'm also telling y'all about self-mastery. But with self-mastery, you have to give yourself room to grow. And then you got to see what works for you, what spiritual practice, and just what is personal growth, and what tools work for you, what works for you to be your best self. And I'm going to tell you right now, perfectionism isn't. You don't need to have all the Palo Santo, sage, crystals. You work with deities or any altar work, or all the different religious texts, Bibles, Torah, Quran. You don't need to know how to speak Hebrew or Latin. You don't need all that. You just need to have that relationship with yourself and that inner divinity within yourself. Don't strive for perfection at all. You strive to be your best self every day. And perfectionism to me will mess up your mental health, because you're not being true to yourself. And who you trying to put ears on for? You really got to ask yourself, who you trying to put ears on for? For what? Everybody going to do them. Everyone is going to be who they need to be for them. And that's what we're supposed to do. Be who we are. Now, I'm not talking about everybody just for self. No. But we're all one, yes. But we're all unique and we have to be ourselves. So, with that, we could still be, we're still always going to be connected. We're always going to be one. But we have to be ourselves, though. We can't be what everyone else wants us to be. We need to just be who we are and connect with that. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it. Be it. Do it. I don't care who you are. And don't try to put a label on yourself or attach yourself to anything. Just be. Just be. You don't have to fit in any group, because then that means you're trying to fit in somewhere. Make your own. Be your own. You could go work with any group that you want to work with. You may not agree with everything that everyone says. No, just be your own. Don't try to be perfect in one way. And I'm telling y'all from experience, I'm still stripping off stuff that I've become aware of. So, yes, that is the end of this video. Yeah, the only thing I can say after I just said it's the end of this video, excuse me, is just be really more self-aware. When you see in yourself, when you're aware of yourself, seeking validation, stop outside yourself, okay? When you're procrastinating, break it down into smaller, time management fragments and smaller goals, just bite-sized portions until you build up that momentum. And then really ask yourself, is this something that is really serving you and serving a purpose? If it's not, get rid of it. You don't have to be perfect. Like, who are you trying to put on ears for and why? Really ask yourself why. Where is it serving you? And I'm going to tell you, there's no good answer for that. I don't care where you are at work, business, family, friends. You don't have to be the perfect mother, father, sister, brother, friend, wife, husband. No, it's not about perfection, but as long as they're getting the best version of you. You understand? It's just self-awareness. And every time you feel it coming on, just be like, stop. No, it's just a practice. You just have to practice. I can't tell you what you may do to where you feel like you're a perfectionist. But when you're aware of it, to when you start seeing self-sabotage, because that's ultimately what it is. Eventually, you're going to start sabotaging yourself. You really got to break it down and see it. Perfectionism. So, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. This is the end of this video. For real, for real. Love you. Talk to you later. Peace. Like, share, subscribe, and follow on IG.